We're back. First pick review. Oh, it's not gonna be as shitty as real life backlash, but it's up there.
it's in the same echelon.
SmackDown superstar Aleister Black kicks off the show with the Raw WWE champion, the undisputed WWE champion, Gunther. All right, let's get to it. The bell rings. Gunther rushes in immediately. Black goes for the black mass. Gunther ducks, grabs him from behind to lock in a sleeper hold. He locks it in right in the middle of the ring. Already, Black has nowhere to go. He uses momentum to get Gunther into a pinning predicament. Gunther releases the hold, stands up. Once again, Black goes for the black mass, and once again, Gunther dodges. This time, Gunther hits a massive chop onto Black. Black is down and on the ground, reeling. Gunther quickly picks him up, hits a power bomb, goes for the cover. One, two, kick out. Gunther angrily looks around. He takes him to the outside and starts throwing him into the barricade. Gunther picks him up, hits a power bomb on top of the barricade. They get back in the ring. Gunther covers. One, two, kick out. In disbelief, Gunther goes to the top rope, hoping to hit a frog splash. He goes for it. Black gets out the way. Gunther hits the mat hard. He starts getting up. Black runs, bounces off the middle rope, hits a hits a standing Gunther with a moonsault. I was confused there for a second. Gunther quick to his feet. After that, he starts getting hit with powerful leg strikes. The whole arena can hear him. Gunther is almost out of it when Black hits him with a black mass. One, two, kick out. Gunther still has some fight left in him. Black decides this is over. He goes and picks up Gunther slowly with his foot. One more black mass should do it. He goes for it. Gunther dodges. Gunther gets Alistair up for a power bomb, and right after he puts him in a sleeper hold in the middle of the ring. Black is trying to fight out of it, but can't this time. He stops moving. Ref goes to check on him. He doesn't keep his hand up. The ref calls for the bell. Gunther makes Alistair Black pass out. I kept him strong for you.
Gotcha. We move into our second match. New Day taking on Authors of Pain for the tag titles. Kofi and Razor start the match against one another and they size one another up in the middle of the ring. Razor goes to strike first, but Kofi ducks, hits the ropes, and hits a jumping forearm to Razor's face. This only staggers the big man, so Kofi does it again to the same result. Kofi starts kicking at Razor's legs when Razor grabs Kofi and beels him across the ring. He conveniently is beeled right to Xavier Woods, who tags himself in. Xavier charges across the ring, but Razor just stonewalls him. Razor beats down on Woods for a bit before bringing him over to Akam. Akam tags in and continues the assault on Xavier Woods. Akam then gets Xavier into a bear hug in the middle of the ring. He is wrenching away as Xavier tries to reach out to Kofi. The crowd starts trying to give Xavier some energy as Kofi is stomping on the steps. Xavier manages to hit a couple of headbutts to Akam before clapping his ears, causing Akam to drop him. Xavier goes to head towards Kofi, but Akam is still in his way. As Xavier heads towards him, Akam tries to hit a big boot, but Xavier ducks and dives out to tag in Kofi. Kofi hits a springboard clothesline to Akam, then knocks Razor off the apron. He then goes over to Akam, who's just getting up, and tries to hit SOS, but Akam reverses and hits a powerbomb on Kofi instead. Akam goes for the cover, but Kofi kicks out at 2. Akam then heads over and tags in Razor. As Razor is picking up Kofi, Kofi pops up and nails a Trouble in Paradise. It takes Kofi a second, but he goes for the cover. 1, 2, Akam breaks it up. Xavier then enters the ring and starts throwing punches at Akam and staggers him back. He gets him against the ropes before backing up and clotheslining him over the top rope. Xavier puts so much behind the clothesline, he also ends up also sends himself over the top rope. Kofi has gotten up and is waiting Razor to get back to his feet. As Razor is about to get to his feet, Kofi watches Akam launch Woods into the steel steps on the outside. Kofi starts to head over to possibly do something when Razor grabs him and nails a spine buster. Akam on the outside then brings Woods back into the ring, and both him and Razor pick up Kofi and Woods into powerbomb positions and then nail a super collider. AOP cover both Woods and Kofi and get the 3. AOP retain.
All right. This one should take me like a minute.
Oh no.
Listen, I didn't realize the story I wanted to tell with this until after. And I think it gets really good after this. And by really good, I mean I just air out my grievances. Okay. They have a stare off. This is a passing of the torch moment here. The old guard that is on her way out and is just here to help shape the future versus the young up and coming superstar. Roxanne goes to work. She starts fast, hoping to be able to tire out Nat. Nat is keeping up though, able to match Rock's speed and counter a few of her moves. Rock starts getting. Oops, I accidentally pressed a button on my controller. Rock's. What the fuck? Rock's goes to work. Rock starts getting irritated and starts trying to just go into a grapple game, which does not end well for her. As a surprise to no one, the daughter of Jim Neidhart and the niece of Bret Hart is really good at grappling. Nat is able to get Rox on a sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. Rox has nowhere to go. She starts crawling to the rope. Nat brings her back into the center of the ring. Rox looks like she's about to tap when she finally pulls Nat's hair just enough to let her release the hold. Rox rolls her up. One, two, kick out. Nat gets back up. Rox is up faster. Rox hits Pop Rox. One, two, three. Rox retains the gold. As a surprise to no one.
Will there be any title changes on Backlash?
No spoilers. No spoilers.
We then move into the World Heavyweight title matchup between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. The bell rings and Drew immediately charges in for a Claymore. Seth manages to dodge the move and goes for a curb stomp. Drew moves out of the way, sweeps Seth's legs, and goes for a cover. He only gets a count of 1 when Seth kicks out and gets up. Um, as as Drew is kneeled down, getting to his feet, Seth nails him with a super kick and goes for a cover of his own. But like Drew before him, he only gets a count of 1. Drew and Seth then make their way towards the middle of the ring and get up and start exchanging blows. Drew thinks he wins the exchange when he nails a Glasgow kiss, but Seth manages to connect with an enziguri just as he's about to fall down. Both men drop to the mat and take some time to pick themselves back up. Seth gets to his feet first and throws Drew against the ropes, but once Drew comes back, he nails Seth with a claymore. He covers Seth, but only gets a count of 2. Drew then backs up and waits for Seth to get back to his feet. Once Seth manages to stand back up, he charges in and nails his second claymore of the match. He covers Seth again. 1, 2, kick out. Drew is seemingly losing it at this point and heads to the outside. He gets under the ring and grabs a kendo stick. Drew paces around the outside before entering the ring with it. The referee tries to stop Drew, but Drew just shoves the referee to the side. He then looks down to Seth, who is telling him he doesn't need to do this. He can finish this the honorable way. Drew holds the kendo stick above his head, but eventually throws it to the side. Seth gets up and congratulates Drew on his decision before kicking him in the gut and nailing a pedigree. He covers Drew. 1, 2, kick out. Seth then backs up just as Drew is getting to his feet and nails a curb stomp. He goes for the cover, but once again he only gets a count of two. Seth backs up yet again, but instead of Drew getting on his hands and knees, he is standing up, simply just on his knees, looking at Seth in the eyes with some blood around his mouth, and he just laughs at Seth. Seth charges in and nails a super kick to Drew's face. He then picks Drew up, gets him into a powerbomb position, and hits a buckle bomb. Seth then backs up and awaits Drew to get to his hands and knees. Once Drew does, Seth charges in for the curb stomp, but just as Seth jumps up, Drew nails him in the midsection with the kendo stick. The referee calls for the bell, and Drew paces around Seth before unleashing an assault with said kendo stick. Drew ends up breaking the kendo stick across the back of Seth Rollins and clutches onto his title as he leaves. The Drew wins via DQ.
All right. Tiffany and Bliss win. Oh,
Okay.
man, I didn't know you were gonna put in here until last time, which should have gave me enough time, but didn't
It
give me
should have
enough time.
given you enough time.
I completely forgot who the fuck you were sending out here. So
Oh,
maybe if you tell me who you're sending me at Money in the Bank, I could write something. Don't send right now because this is a
yeah.
recording. But
Yeah, I'll let you know. Okay. Well, we move on to the U.S. title match between Kevin Owens, Chad Gable, and defending champ Braun Breaker. As soon as the bell rings, Braun Breaker charges across the ring and spears Chad Gable. Kevin stands back and gives Braun a slow clap as he makes his way back to his feet. Braun then goes to charge at Owens, but Kevin just exits the ring. Kevin then speaks to the crowd saying he's not that dumb as he walks around on the outside. As he turns back towards the ring, Braun is flying through the air and dives onto Kevin on the outside. Braun then picks up Kevin and goes to bring him over to the announce table. Chad Gable has recovered though and attacks Braun just as he turns the corner. Braun drops Kevin and shoves Gable back. Gable goes to hit him again, but Braun just manages to stun him and Gable staggers back a bit. Braun then tries to nail another spear on Gable, but Gable jumps out of the way and Braun spears the steps instead. Gable immediately goes to capitalize and throws Braun back into the ring. As he goes to re-enter, Kevin grabs onto his foot and pulls him back outside. Kevin then grabs Gable and throws him over the announce table. He then enters the ring, and once he stands up, Braun nails him with a spear. Braun goes for the cover. 1, 2, kick out. Braun is furious as hasn't gotten the job done. He looks outside and sees Gable crawling his way back over the table. Braun and Gable lock eyes, and Gable seemingly is begging for Braun not to do anything. Braun then rolls out to the opposite side of the ring. Braun starts running around the ring, but Gable sees this and also begins running around the ring. Braun chases Gable for an entire lap around it until Gable slides back into the ring. Gable taunts Braun on the outside when you see Owens stand up behind Gable. Braun just laughs on the outside as Owens turns Gable around and hits him with a stunner. He goes for the cover, but Braun slides back in and breaks it up. Gable rolls under the bottom rope as Braun and Kevin begin to brawl in the middle of the ring. Kevin eventually wins the exchange and throws Braun against the ropes. Braun comes back with much more energy and blows past Owens, hits the ropes again, and nails a spear. Braun goes for the pin. 1, 2. Gable from the sky connects with the moonsault, breaking up the pin. He tries to pin Braun, but Braun rolls out of the ring. He then goes to cover Owens, but Owens also rolls out of the ring. Gable seems a bit defeated, but collects himself and heads to the outside to bring one of them back in. He decides to bring back in Braun Breaker and struggles picking him up. Once he does, he sets him on the apron. Once he sets Braun on the apron, Kevin turns him around and starts brawling with him, eventually throwing him into the guardrail. As Kevin goes to turn back towards Braun, Braun has gotten himself up on the apron and jumps off to hit a Hurricane Rana on Owens. Owens though just catches Braun in the through midair and power bombs him against the apron. Braun just collapses and Owens stands over him. Gable has recovered though and throws Owens back into the ring. Owens is just getting back to his feet when Gable enters the ring and tries to pick him up. Once he tries to pick him up though, Owens just shoots up, hits a stunner, and pins Gable for the 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens is your new U.S. champion.
I used to pray for times like these. Finally, it's been so long since he's had gold.
I bet there was part of you that was panicking that I was never going to give him any success on my
Yep.
brand.
Actually,
Can
it hasn't
Sant-
been that long. I don't know when he lost the tag titles, but
it's been a while since he's had single success.
yeah.
Can Santos do the same? Flip brands and win a title?
Here we go. I didn't write nearly as much as you wrote, so it's kind of it. Like I said, it was a very backlash writing right up for me. All right. Balor has Nakamura, Adam Cole, Mello, and JD all out there with him. Santos just has Angel and Berto. Clearly outnumbered, Angel and Berto are having a tough time keeping the Undisputed Era out the match. Finally, Berto starts brawling on the outside with JD and Nakamura, while Angel is brawling with Cole and Mello. Santos is looking out at them angrily. He can't help them. He turns around, eats a shotgun drop kick into the corner. Finn goes up to the top. He's about to launch off the top rope for a coup de grace when Roman's music hits. Finn looks at the entrance scared. After all, Undisputed Era did attack them on Friday. So one of these weeks. Uh, Finn looks at the entrance scared when we see Adam Cole point at Mello and JD to go after him. Roman comes out with Jay. They start beating them down back in the ring. Finn is still on the top rope when Santos makes his way up there. He hits a suplex off the top rope to Finn. Santos starts setting up for a phantom driver. He hits it. He goes for the cover, but the ref is too distracted by what's happening on the outside. He doesn't count it. The crowd counts to 5 before Santos lets go of the cover to tell the ref to focus. Once he does, he turns around. Balor hits a 1916 on him. Balor climbs to the top rope, hits a coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor retains. He's been champion for like 6 months now.
Has it really been that long?
Yep.
Wow. I'll be honest, it does not feel like it's been that long he's been champion.
I think I went back. Wait, was it 4? It was 6 to 4 months or 4 to 6 months. I don't remember how long exactly, but he's been champion for that long, according to the YouTube video
Hmm,
schedule.
well then.
By the time this video comes out, probably even longer.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like in real life time?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like in game time he's held that title for like 6 months. I was like, it doesn't feel like he's been champ that long.
Well, basically in real time and in game time are basically the same.
Wow. It's that right now is just sneakily getting long. Anyways, into the main event tonight between Charlotte, Becky, and Cora for the women's title. The bell rings and Cora and Becky are immediately trading blows. Charlotte just sits back and watches as Becky and Cora are basically just catfighting, pulling one another's hair, and are all up in each other's faces. Becky just grabs onto Cora's head and throws her down to the mat. Cora doesn't even get fully back onto her feet before tackling Becky down to the mat. She lands multiple punches before standing up and stomping away at Becky before kicking her out of the ring. Cora then turns around to Charlotte just watching. Charlotte and Cora then circle the ring before locking up in the middle. Charlotte works Cora back into the corner, but lets off before slapping Cora across the face. She holds her face just before charging across the ring and tackling Charlotte now. Cora is laying in punches when Becky re-enters the ring and pulls Cora off of Charlotte. Becky just brings Cora over to the corner and starts smashing her head against the turnbuckle pads. She starts with the top turnbuckle, then moves to the middle one, and then ends with smashing Cora's face against the bottom turnbuckle. Becky stands up with Cora laid out under the bottom rope, holding her face. She turns around into a massive spear from Charlotte. Charlotte goes for the cover, but only gets a count of two. She wastes no time though and gets up and immediately starts to work over Becky's legs. After working over Becky's legs, Charlotte seems like she's going to go for the figure four. She pantomimes for the crowd for maybe a bit too long though, as Becky quickly tries to roll her up. Charlotte though manages to kick out at two. As Charlotte and Becky stare one another down, um, they slowly get up to their feet. As they're getting up, Cora comes out of nowhere and drop kicks both of them in the side of the head. Cora taunts them before picking up Becky and bringing her over to the corner now to smash her head against the turnbuckles. As gets to the middle turnbuckle, Charlotte grabs her and turns her around. Charlotte tries to strike Cora, but um, she ducks and gets a hold of Charlotte and then starts smashing Charlotte's head against the turnbuckles. Both Charlotte and Becky are sat against the bottom turnbuckle when Cora backs up and charges across the ring to hit them both with a Meteora. Cora then pulls Charlotte out and hits her with Jaded. Cora goes for the cover. One, two. Just manages to throw herself onto the cover to break it up. Cora, frustrated with Becky breaking it up, gets up and starts yelling at her before picking her up. Cora looks to go for Jaded, but Becky quickly manages to reverse and hits a manhandle slam. Becky, still feeling the effects of the turnbuckle bashing, and Meteora takes a few seconds before she can get an arm over on Cora. One, two. Charlotte now manages to break up the pin by stomping on the back of Becky. Charlotte then picks up Becky, who fires in a quick chop, but fires in a quick chop. Charlotte returns the chop, and both the women start trading blows. Charlotte tries to get rid of Becky by throwing her over the top rope, but as Becky goes over, she manages to hang on. Charlotte charges in to knock Becky off the apron, but Becky nails a forearm, then goes to climb up top. Charlotte recovers just before Becky can jump off and meets her up there. Charlotte seems like she's going for a superplex when Cora recovers and gets up top with them. They all jump off, and Charlotte hits a superplex on Becky off the top rope, whilst Cora hits Charlotte with a back suplex. Once they hit the mat, Becky rolls out of the ring, and Cora picks herself up, picks Charlotte up with her, and gets her in position for Jaded. She looks around to the crowd before nailing Jaded and covering Charlotte. One, two, three. Cora Jade retains.
Impossible. Becky Hogan didn't. I guess she didn't retain.
She wasn't she pinned.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
And that is Backlash.